Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav. Jaya Panchatata, Jaya Panchatata, Panchatata, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Nrisimhadev, 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 Jai Prahlada Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Charya Shtotarashata Shishi Matridanti Goswami Abhaya Charana Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Charya Shtotarashata Shishi Matridanti Goswami Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Maharaja Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakura Ki Jai. Om Prem Stako Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Madhava Gopi Gopinath Radha Kunda Shyama Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavana Madhura Dhamma Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvipa Dhamma Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sakhagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajrivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Svitam Shah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Kari Priyem Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we start Radha Krishna Katha. And today is the first day of Katha, which will be dedicated to a wonderful celebration of Srimati Radharani appearance, which we will celebrate on Sunday. So today we will try to say something about glories of Srimati Radharani and our service to her, and we can discuss how we can please Srimati Radharani, because she is our bridge to Krishna. That's Srila Prabhupada explains in his lecture given on Radhashtami in 73. We start with definition of Krishna. Krishna is Rasa Vai Saha. Saha means he. He is Rasa himself. Rasa Vai Saha. So he is Rasa. What is Rasa? Rasa is bliss. Bliss of what? Of the relationship with Krishna. So he is Rasa. He is the bliss of the relationship with himself. It's getting interesting. And he's also Rasika. Rasika, who is Rasika? Someone who enjoys this bliss of rasa. Someone who enjoys the bliss of the relationship with himself. But how to enjoy the bliss of himself? He has to endeavor for this. And it's poetically said that when Krishna wants to enjoy the rasa, actually he doesn't contain rasa. He is rasa personified. He is rasa himself. And when he wants to enjoy this rasa, it's described in different Puranas, so something happens. And what is this something? He exploits. It's like Big Bang of this dynamic Paramananda condensed rasa comes out in the form of beautiful counterpart of Krishna, and that's Srimati Radharani. So she is a personification of the spirit of enjoyment of this rasa. So Krishna is a personification of sweetness. He is sweetness himself. But Srimati Radharani, that's the one who enjoys this sweetness. He is a personification of serving of his sweetness. And it's explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 1, very famous verse, verse 5. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir, Hladini Shakti Asmat. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir. So, wonderful, loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. That's transformation of this internal, transcendental energy of Krishna himself, Hladini Shakti. But they are Ekatma now. They one in their identity. But Apibhuvi Pura Deha Bedam Gato. But formerly they separated and got two forms for the sake of this enjoyment of Krishna. So Krishna enjoys through Radha. He cannot enjoy himself by himself. He has to enjoy through someone, and this someone is perfect devotee of him, who gives him this enjoyment and understanding of this enjoyment and experience of this enjoyment of himself. And this is Srimati Radharani. And Radharani is the embodiment of the quality of enjoyment, Krishna's personality. So Radha enjoys the sweetness of Krishna, and Krishna enjoys the Srimati Radharani, who enjoys his sweetness. He enjoys actually differently than Srimati Radharani. He enjoys the effect that this sweetness produces in Srimati Radharani. He enjoys her emotions when she serves the sweetness of Krishna. And when Srimati Radharani begin enjoying Krishna, something happens. They start a transcendental competition. Krishna is the sweetness personified, and Srimati Radharani is the love personified, which manifests from the sweetness. And the more she enjoys his sweetness, the more sweetness he reveals to please her. And this newly produced sweetness, she immediately absorbs as this eternal, endless sponge which absorbs this increasing sweetness of Krishna, this nectar of this sweetness. That's Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is this pleasure-giving potency. Without her, Krishna cannot enjoy. She who enjoys Krishna, and also she nourishes the devotees, because we as devotees also consist of Hladini. Some portion of Hladini is there, and to maintain this Hladini in us, pleasure, we have to take shelter of Srimati Radharani. By serving here, this Hladini Shakti also maintained by her in us. We cannot survive without Hladini. We cannot survive without this enjoying by this pleasure of devotional service. And when we serve, then automatically we are nourished by Mother Hara. By Mother Radharani, we are nourished with Hladini Shakti. So thus we survive in our devotional service. It's very pleasurable. Susukam kartam avyayai, right? So because of this Hladini. And Hladini is there in the act of devotional service, in bhakti herself. And now we are coming in describing our place in the picture of their relationship between Radha and Krishna. So we are taking part in it, right? So we are somewhere in the picture. And this place of ours is described by different acharyas. Saying Nimbarka Acharya explains that the living entity is Satchitananda. We know this from our sources, from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita. And when the living entity comes into contact with matter and it falls into the material world, then these two constituents of the nature of living entity, namely Chit and Ananda, they diminish to the greatest extent. Only few drops are left. So there is no Ananda and there is no Chit. Literally speaking, we don't need them here. Because Chit energy, or energy of knowledge, the main characteristic of this knowledge is cognition. And this energy of cognition in charge of proper understanding of things. As well, if we understand things properly, then we will maintain the understanding of our eternal identity as servants of Krishna. So this understanding of realization that we are the servant is sustained, is maintained by the energy of cognition, which revealed by the Chit energy of the Lord. So, and because Chit now is diminished, when we come here, only drop is left. Chit is diminished, therefore we cannot maintain properly this consciousness or this eternal understanding, this eternal identity that I am a servant of the Lord. And what I enjoy with, if I'm a servant, by my devotional service, the second portion. And it's also not maintained because only drop of Hladini, what I'm enjoying with, also left. Therefore, I easily get another identity that I am a servant of my body. I am this body. That's my real identity here in material world. Another identity is given by a material nature. And how I enjoy, what is enjoyable? Service of the body. That's enjoyment in this material world. Therefore, I have forgotten. We have forgotten that we are the servants, and we enjoy by the service of the object of our service. So these two are very diminished. These two energies, Chit and Ananda, almost up to the nil level. But on the level of Bhava, the Chit and Ananda energies, which were missing before, they descend into the heart of the living entities. Again, up to the level, increasing up to the level where we can have this exchange with Krishna. So this exchange, it requires some level of Chit and Ananda. So when this level is already up, by descending on the level bhakti, then we can have this wonderful relationship with Krishna. And thus on the level of bhava, the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is bestowed on the living entity. And this is part of his Svarupa Shakti, Hladini energy. It descends. And this is Srimati Radharani. And when Srimati Radharani as Hladini on the level of bhava is there already in the heart, then Krishna is attracted. Because he is interested only in Srimati Radharani. And she is there, Krishna will enter as well. So both of them, they will there, and this is the perfection of our devotional service. And whenever and wherever Hladini appears, the prema is there already. Because love of Godhead or prema, that's synonym of Hladini Shakti. It's said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that this wonderful love of God, or unalloyed bhakti, or ananya bhakti, that it's synonym of, or transformation, or the product of Hladini Shakti. Hladini Shakti and the prema, that's the synonyms. And also how this prema will be revealed, will manifest itself through devotional service. So the Shakti of devotional service, or a Bhakti Shakti, it's also synonym of prema. Pure Bhakti Shakti, it's also synonym of Hladini Shakti. Thus, they connected. So Hladini Shakti, the product of Hladini Shakti, that's prema, and also the mean to express prema, that's devotional service. And all of them, they're Srimati Radharani. So she is Hladini herself, she is prema herself, and she is Bhakti Shakti herself. So that's identity of Srimati Radharani in our life. And Radharani main devotional service is to appreciate the sweetness of Krishna. Even a drop of the sweetness will be appreciated perfectly by her. And this is lesson for us. Until we really appreciate how Krishna appears in our life, how he forms all these circumstances which we are in now, how he appears himself in these circumstances, and how he helps us to overcome these circumstances if they're materially like unpleasurable or disturbing. So that's him. We have to understand that everything, whatever we experience in life, comes from Krishna. And we have to be able to appreciate. Ashlishiva padaratam pinashtamam adarshanam marmahatam karotava yadhata dhava vidadhatu lampatom at prana nathastu saya naparaha. So that's a lesson Srimati Radharani teaches us. Whether you embrace me or embrace you harshly, or break my heart by not allowing to see you, still you are unconditionally my worshipable Lord. And that's how we have to also enter this picture. We cannot serve Radha and Krishna unless we understand their relationship, unless we understand the tattva of their wonderful dealings with each other. Then we will be able to serve. Therefore, we are trying now to get this understanding. And Srila Prabhupada in 1975 in lecture on Radhashtami explains this wonderfully. No, it was Srimad Bhagavatam 565. Yeah. That is the difference, Srila Prabhupada writes. There is no manu or disappointment when we understand that Krishna probably in some harsh, according to our understanding, deals with us. There is no disappointment. Disappointment is there, but so much disappointed that broken heart even. Still, he wants to love Krishna. That is pure love. But not like I have been disappointed, my heart is broken, therefore I give up Krishna. That's Srila Prabhupada's writings. No, still Krishna is my beloved Lord. That's how we have to understand our circumstances. And whatever we experience in our life, everything comes from loving hands of Krishna. Nothing's there but this. Only this is there. Loving hands of Krishna, especially in our life as devotees, because we serve him. And he's more pleased when we serve with the knowledge that everything comes from him. I appreciate every manifestation of Krishna in my heart. Whatever comes my way in my life, I appreciate it. That's the lesson which Srimati Radharani teaches us. And then there is a wonderful class given by Srila Prabhupada on Radhashtami in 73, when he reveals how to worship Krishna and how to please him in the light of worshipping of Srimati Radharani. Srila Prabhupada says, the aim of life is to satisfy Lord Krishna. Krishna is pleased through Radharani. Therefore, we don't keep Krishna alone. No, we keep Radha Krishna. First, you have to worship Radharani because she is his pleasure potency and always absorbed in serving him. And when Radha is pleased, then Krishna is automatically pleased. That's how we can please him. So first we have to give pleasure to pleasure-giving potency so that our service would be transferred to Krishna by Srimati Radharani. And then he continues, when anyone comes before Radharani to serve Krishna, she becomes so pleased. Oh, here is a devotee of Krishna. She immediately recommends that person. Krishna, here is a devotee. He is better than me. This is Radharani. I may not be a devotee at all. I may be a most fallen rascal. But if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then my business is successful. Wonderful. We have such a shelter of Srimati Radhika. Grateful shelter. Therefore, we should worship Radharani first, Srila Prabhupada continues. That is our business. And then how practically to apply it. Instead of directly offering a flower to Krishna, put it in the hands of Radharani. My mother Radharani, Jagannatha, please kindly take this flower and offer it to Krishna. Radharani says, oh, you have brought a flower. Krishna said, Patram pushpam palam toyam yame bhaktya prayachhati. If you worship me with leaf, with flower, with fruit, or with water, I will accept it. If it's offered with love, with bhakti. Me bhaktya prayachhati. That's what is really attractive for Krishna in our offering, our bhakti. So Krishna says it. But don't try to offer to Krishna directly. Srila Prabhupada insisting here, don't try to offer to Krishna directly. Offer through Radharani. It will be very much appreciated by her. Shilavendri transmits our service to Krishna. This is our philosophy, Srila Prabhupada continues, to please Krishna through Radharani. And as today is the auspicious day of Radharani's appearance, we should offer Pushpanjali and pray, Radharani, kindly be merciful and tell me about your Krishna. Krishna is yours. Krishna is not independent. Krishna is Radharani's property. So you have to approach Krishna through Radharani. Today is the auspicious day. Worship Radharani very nicely and be happy. And here we have plenty of opportunities to serve Srimati Radharani for her appearance day, especially these last 3 days before Radhashtami, so please grab it and serve somehow or other Srimati Radharani, worship here with whatever capacity you have, and when she is pleased, our business is successful. So Krishna will be reached through Srimati Radharani. And also it's mentioned by Acharya, what is the object of our service? Do we serve Radha or do we serve Krishna? Or do we serve both of them? And they mentioned actually that we don't develop our love for them separately, neither for Radha nor for Krishna. We as servants, we develop this mood of appreciating their love, worshipping their love. We learn how to love their love. That's how everything works in Vraja. Everyone appreciates the love of Radha and Krishna. Everyone wants to do something to increase this love. Always are trying to make this union of Radha and Krishna. So that's our service as well. And there is something which requires the restored nature of heart to understand it. So we have to restore our nature. We have to become already pure to understand all this tattva, but still to hear about this. It's also wonderful, also very helpful. And now we come to the relationship between Radha and Krishna. We will continue this. The essence of any relationship is an appropriate exchange. What is offered and what is offered in return should match, right? Or should be equal. Otherwise, it's not satisfying. We will never have the relationship with when there is no equation in it. Should be whatever offered and whatever offered in return should be equal. And Srimati Radharani gives Krishna so much love that to be able to reciprocate with this love, he has to accept the most perfect form, which we can see only in Vraja. Literally speaking, the form which we see on the altar, Madhava, wonderful Madhava, Tribhanga Lalita, that's the creation of Srimati Radharani. We will not see this form in any other places, in any other dhamas like Mathura or Dwaraka. Why? Because the love of the devotees there is not so pure. Therefore, it's not so intense. It's not so interesting for Krishna in reality. He is interested only in this love, pure love, Ananya Bhakti of Rajavasis, Kevala Bhakti. And Rupa Goswami says this Kevala Bhakti can be only in dealings with Krishna, not with Narayana, not with Vaikuntha-nath, not with Madhura-nath, no. Pure Bhakti is a prerogative of the dealings between Vrajavasis or devotee who follow Vrajavasi and Krishna himself. So he has to manifest this most perfect form, and it's called Sima, the last limit of perfection. And it culminates in sweetness. So why Krishna is so perfect? Actually in Dwaraka he is perfect. In Mathura he is more perfect. And in Vrindavan he is most perfect. In which way? By Madhurya. These four Madhuryas of Krishna are there in his personality, in the form he reveals in Vraja. And what are these Madhuryas? This Rupa Madhurya, Lila Madhurya, Vena yes, Prema and Vena Madhurya. And out of them, the Rupa Madhurya is the foremost. It's the main vibhuti of Krishna. From this, all other Madhurya sprouts. From his Rupa Madhurya comes Lila Madhurya, and then Vena Madhurya, and then Prema Madhurya. And Prema Madhurya is the loving dealings between him and the gopis in Prema. So Prema Madhuryas. So that all these Madhuryas come only when he is with Srimati Radharani. So we have to be obliged here for our wonderful Madhava. That's our Radha. Krishna himself is bewildered and mesmerized by Radharani's love. So much so that he wants to experience it. He cannot. Although he is Purnottama, he is most perfect, he is Purna Bhagavan, are the most perfect in enjoyment, most perfect in control of everything, but still he doesn't have these three. He doesn't have love of Srimati Radharani. He cannot experience this. Therefore, he develops these three desires, which he cannot fulfill in this form even of Krishna, in Vrindavan. In this Sima form, he cannot experience this. He cannot experience love of Srimati Radharani for himself. Therefore, he has to come again to fulfill these three desires. What are these desires? First, what is there in her love that makes me mad? It makes me crazy for this love. What is this there? What are the qualities of her love? So first desire of Krishna, which he cannot fulfill even in his most perfect form, that to understand the nature of love of Srimati Radharani. And the second desire, what is there in me that make her love me so much? What is this my sweetness? I want to experience it. I cannot. I can see myself only in mirror. In mirror of polished marble in Dwaraka, or polished something in Dwaraka. And when Krishna sees his beauty, he's totally marveled. Who is he? How wonderful is the service of those who serve me every day, seeing the sweetness. How wonderful the enjoyment of those who enjoy this beauty at every moment. So she wants to enjoy his own beauty, but he cannot. So he can do it only when he accepts the mood of Srimati Radharani and he strives for it, for this mood. And then the third desire of Krishna, to understand the enjoyment, to understand the bliss that Radharani feels when she serves this most perfect form of Krishna, when she serves the sweetness of Krishna. And these three desires are there. And he's supposed to come as Lord Chaitanya to experience the love of Radha, to understand this love, to experience it himself, and to fulfill these three desires. And now we're coming to something very interesting, to the qualities of this love, to the qualities of Srimati Radharani. Narada Muni comes to Dwaraka. We remember this in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. He is in search of most perfect devotee, remember. And he's going from one level to another level to another level until he reaches Dwaraka. He comes to Uddhava and queens of Krishna and Dwaraka and Devaki and Rohini and Balarama, all Dwarakavasis who are already in the category of Priyatama. Sanatana Goswami gives their different categories of devotees, and Narada traces all these categories. Then he traverses all the universes, traverses. First is Bhaktas, devotee. The second is Priya, dear devotees. And the third category is Priyatama, that's already Dwarakavasis. All the Vrishnis, all the Yadavas, they're in this category. But all the Vrishnis and Yadavas, all these Priyatamas, they pointed out on Vrajavasis. And Vrajavasis, they are in the category of Purna, perfect. Why they perfect? Because Vrajavasi concluded in their conversation with Narada that the most perfect devotee is someone who loves Krishna in the mood of separation. And they're Vrajavasis. So this mood of separation makes the devotee most perfect. And actually it said that the enjoyment of love of Krishna cannot manifest without this feeling of separation. As clothes cannot become red without first put it in a red color or red water. In the same way, the highest perfection of love can be experienced only in separation. And thus, Vrajavasis, with their feeling of separation, they are the highest. And out of them, they already Purna, they already perfect. Out of them, Purnottama, of highest perfection, of most pure and perfect, the gopis. And then Shukadeva Goswami concludes all this search of Narada Muni in the conversation with his mother Uttara, because Mother Uttara somehow missed a whole explanation of Bhagavatam, by Shukadeva Goswami. And now she wants to know the essence of Bhagavatam in this very little time which left until Maharaja Parikshit is killed already by the snake. So she wants to know, and she's asking, my dear son, can you please tell me the essence of Bhagavatam? At least something so that I can be directed in my life. And Maharaja Parikshit gives here the essence of Bhagavatam in very few verses. They also describe in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Dear mother, you as well should always worship this young coward boy. He is an ocean that yields the nectar of the rasa dance, in which divine gopis fully surround him, entranced by pure love. You have to develop the mood of service to these gopis. You have to become a maid servant of the gopis. It's the essence of the Bhagavatam in few words, given in Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And for us, it's very meaningful because it's not for Mother Uttara. It's not just mother of Maharaja Parikshita. She is also a queen mother. She is a mother of whole Kuru dynasty now. And to her, who is endowed with such a position of queen, Maharaja Parikshit tells you have to accept the mood of the gopis. You have not just the mood of the gopis, but the servant of the gopis. Means manjaris. That's the essence of the Bhagavatam, which is described in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and it's very profound. If you can understand this few sentence, which is given by as the instruction by Shukadeva Goswami, we will fulfill our life with success. Otherwise, it's not possible. And then, you should cherish the desire to be a servant of these gopis. It's continuation of this. First, you have to worship them. You have to worship Krishna as well as the gopis. How? By becoming a servant. Cherish the desire to become a servant of these gopis. In which way? How to become a servant of the gopis. How to develop this mood. And Maharaja Parikshit explains further, you should dedicate yourself to the Sankirtana of his names. That's how it comes. First, you have to take shelter of the gopis. How? By serving them. How? To become a servant of the gopis by Nama Sankirtana. Krishna Nama Sankirtana. It's very profound. Just whole chain is there. Like 3 steps. How to do it. So he instructed his mother like this, and this is instruction for all of us. The essence of Bhagavatam, we have to take shelter in gopis. How? By serving them in the mood of servants. How? By executing Nama Sankirtana, chanting the holy names of the Lord. It's very deep. And then he continues, if you follow my advice, O Mother, and with pure love take shelter of the gopis and their master Lord Krishna, then, O Mother, I promise that by Krishna's mercy you will be able to understand something of the gopis' greatness. It's interesting. All the things already revealed by Maharaja Parikshit. You have to do this and this, you have to take shelter, you have to get the mood. Now, why he's coming to the qualities of the gopis? Why he's mentioning that? And before this, he even mentioned, I cannot repeat, I cannot chant, I cannot understand, and therefore I cannot explain to you even one of the glories of the gopis. I cannot. But you have to understand the glories of the gopis. You have to understand the qualities of the gopis. For this, how to do it? why it's needed, first of all, in first place, why it's needed to understand the qualities. And he explains this, without first scientifically understanding that Gopi Parankhana in his purport to this wonderful verse, he writes, without first scientifically understanding the special qualities of the gopis, which distinguish them from everyone else, one cannot develop the true desire of becoming a servant. We already set up our goal, or Maharaja Parikshit set this goal for us. We have to become a servant of the gopis, but how to do it? By understanding qualities of the gopis. Otherwise, if we don't understand the qualities of the gopis, then how we can serve them? I can serve to someone whom I understand, whom I appreciate, right? So for this, I have to know the qualities. And he comes to this, that's the last point. What are the qualities of the gopis? That we have to develop as well to be able to serve them. It's most important part. And without understanding these qualities, we cannot develop the desire to serve, and also we cannot realize the supreme truth of the ecstatic love of Krishna. But if we're supposed to serve this love without understanding of this love, of the ecstatic manifestation of this love, then how we can serve? So everything sprouts from understanding of these wonderful qualities of the gopis. We have to hear, we have to understand, we have to imbibe. And we come now to the 25th main qualities of Srimati Radharani. I would like to mention them, because they're very tasty. And that's what we have to understand and then imbibe to be able to serve. We have to realize. And it's perfectly realized by Lord Shiva in Radha Kripa Katakshastava Raja. He explains so nicely, with such realization, all these qualities one by one in different description of Srimati Radharani. And then Rupa Goswami nicely, poetically put all this revelation from Shiva, although she's Shiva, he is Shiva. He's not, although he's Vaishnavanam Yadashambhu, he is the greatest of all the devotees, but he is not even in Madhura Rasa, this Krishna. But somehow he realized all the qualities of Srimati Radharani, and he put everything about her so nicely in his conversation with Parvati, and it's given in Utvarna Tantra. And then Rupa Goswami nicely, poetically put it, wrapped in wonderful poetry. And thus we have Radha Kripa Katakshastava Raja. We will come to it as well. Qualities, okay, Srimati Radharani main qualities, 25. And all these qualities, they can be divided into 5 categories. It's not homogeneous. They are still under some categories. And first big category of these qualities is the qualities of the form of Srimati Radharani. She has such a beautiful form. Again, this main attraction to her by Krishna, the qualities of his form. And we already discussed that all the opulences of Krishna, they come from this one opulence, his most perfect beauty. The same with Radha. All other qualities of Radha, they come from this one quality. The first quality in this category of qualities of the form of Srimati Radharani, she is very beautiful. Madhuryam. And another translation, not just she is beautiful, but very sweet. So again the same thing, Radha is in Vrindavan. Everything in Vrindavan, then manifestation of sweetness of Srimati Radharani. Actually, she becomes Vrindavan to attract Krishna. She becomes Navadvip to attract Krishna. How? By transferring her sweetness to all the objects in Vrindavana. So Vrindavan, that's personification of sweetness of Srimati Radharani. It's very beautiful. So her first quality in this category of the qualities of the form of Srimati Radharani, she's very beautiful, Madhuryam. Second, she is in the prime of her eternal youth, always useful. Third, her eyes are very restless to express everything. It's also nicely explained by different acharyas. The Madhurya is so subtle. You cannot express it roughly. You cannot express it like even being in the presence of Krishna. You're always in the presence of superiors. Therefore, eyes are become an agent of expressing different feelings. Therefore, they're so restless always. How to express? More subtle things are expressed by the eyes always. Not by movements, not by body, by the eyes. That's how subtle we have to be to understand Srimati Radharani and her feelings. And then, fourth quality of Srimati Radharani in this category of wonderful qualities of form of her. Her smile is bright, so bright smile, and she's always smiling. Her palms and feet are marked with beautiful auspicious lines and signs. That's another quality of the form of Srimati Radharani. And sixth one, the fragrance of her body drives Krishna mad. The six qualities of her form. We will not touch all of them, just to develop little taste and attachment to these qualities. We have to read them again and again, again and again. And also we have to read understanding of this or contemplating by Krishna himself. And it's given in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna Das Kaviraj in chapter 4, Adilila. He gives all description of a wonderful contemplation of Krishna on the qualities of Srimati Radharani. Actually, only Krishna can explain these qualities, which we have to be attracted to. Why? Because his qualities match to the love of Srimati Radharani. Actually, this love could be understood only by him, because he has all wonderful quality which Radha loves with her love. So to speak about her love, it's only Krishna's prerogative, and also Guru. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati tells us that only Krishna can understand love of Radha, and also Guru, spiritual master who is very confidential servant of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. They can understand. And then another qualities or category of the qualities of Srimati Radharani is the qualities of her speech. So first category is the qualities of her form. Yeah. And next category is the qualities of her speech. And three qualities are here. She is skilled in singing, very skillfully sing, and nobody can realize this singing. As it can be said about Krishna, so nobody can understand ragas which Krishna sings, the same with Srimati Radharani. Nobody can realize, nobody can even trace the music chords there. It's beyond all of us. It's very attractive for Krishna. So she is skilled in singing and playing musical instruments. Eighth quality, or second out of these qualities of speech, her speech is beautiful and pleasing to the ear. And the third quality of her speech, she is skillful in jokes. Very reserveful and very witty. It's so attractive. That's another quality of her voice. She can express the joke so nicely. And so many emotions which so attractive for Krishna. And then third qualities of her category of her qualities, the qualities of mind or character. So first is form, then the speech, and now character or mind. 9 qualities. She is the embodiment of meekness and humility. And Krishna also explained, although she is successful in the most perfect service to Swayam Bhagavan, to Sima Rupa of Swayam Bhagavan, the last limit of perfection. She's most successful. She's always satisfies this most perfect rupa of Krishna, most perfect personality of Krishna. It's such a great achievement, but there is no even trace of pride in her. Usually in this world, whatever we achieve, it becomes the object of our pride. We're very proud of something, or that may be very little something. As Srila Prabhupada says that the poor man pride even of a button on his kurta. Wonderful button. So he's proud of it. He puts like 3 buttons, so he's proud of these buttons. Very less. Something very insignificant, but here the greatest achievement. Such a great achievement that Krishna, by his love of Srimati Radharani, becomes her property. Totally sold off to Srimati Radharani. And he likes this position so much. Why? Because he knows that Srimati Radharani, for the sake of his happiness, will give him to everyone. As Lord Chaitanya. She comes as Lord Chaitanya, not Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya. She comes as Lord Chaitanya to give her highest love to all the living entities. Take and serve, because he is most pleased when you serve him with my love, not with anyone else's love. That's her mood. And then the second quality of her character, she is supremely merciful. Triloka Shoka Harini. Because of being so merciful, she can deliver all 3 worlds. That's what she does when she comes as Lord Chaitanya here. She delivers. Munindra Vrinda Vandite Triloka Shoka Harini. Prasanna Vaktra Pankaja. Nikunja Bhuvilasini. That's Radha Kripa Kataksha Stava Raja. And then she's very skillful in everything and extremely skillful in transcendental pastimes. The skillfulness, that's also the character, also the quality of the character. She's cunning. Interesting. She's so pure, but still she's cunning. So different qualities of Srimati Radharani, although they may be controversial, still they are there like in perfect combination, in perfect match with each other. It's also there in Krishna, because Radha and Krishna is the source of all the qualities, right? They may not be matching in material, from material point of view or in material terms, but they're perfectly there combined to please Krishna. So cunningness is there, and then purity is there, and sincerity is there, and the absence of pride is there. So many different qualities of Srimati Radharani is there. She's shy. She never deviates from the path of rightfulness and is always respectful to her elders. She is patient and peaceful. She is grave, and she is playful. How it can be grave and playful? But they are not antagonistic. It's perfect combination. That's like a different bouquets that she offers to Krishna for his enjoyment. It's also the perfection of service of Srimati Radharani. And there is one quality which is in its perfect category. Only one quality in this category of the qualities of Srimati Radharani. She is filled with supreme ecstatic love of Krishna. Madana Mahabhava, that's the highest perfection of love, that's the highest level of love of Krishna possessed by Srimati Radharani, Madana Mahabhava. Nobody can exceed it, nobody can even come close to it. We can only serve to these wonderful qualities of Radha. Okay, there are another category of the qualities which manifest the relationship of Radha with others. I will just name this. She is the object of love of all the inhabitants of Gokula. That's her relationship. These qualities, they depict, they manifest the relationship of Radha with others. Her glory shines in all the worlds. Everyone worships her. She is always surrounded by the care and love of elders. She submits herself to the love of her friends. Very submissive. She is the greatest among Krishna's lovers. Krishna is always under her control. It naturally comes through all these qualities. When we trace them, last is Krishna always under her control. Why? Because of these wonderful qualities which she manifests. I don't have more time for this wonderful topic, for this wonderful description. I wanted to say more, of course. If you have any questions or any comments. Yes. But can